Do beep boop ba-doop ba-doo ba-doop boop. And that isn't even all of them. I have a whole bunch more upstairs in my office, which you've seen because they sit in the back of my videos. This is my tiny dino family. We have a Triceratops and a Stegosaurus, and they are in love. They have an adopted son who is a T-Rex, and he's the only one that, has a name. His name is Timmy. Timmy the T-Rex. The T is for Timmy. I took him to see the newest Jurassic Park, and I sat him there, and I, made him watch, and he, roared at the dinosaurs, and, Chris was sitting next to me, and he would, try and chomp Chris's arm whenever he was enjoying the show. These two don't really have names, because they're dinosaurs, and maybe I don't deserve to know their animal name or something, because I'm sure humans are the reason you're extinct. We're the reason everything's extinct. They live on the other couch, and they are over there with... This is the whale shark from Finding Dory, and she also hangs out over there with the dinosaur family. They just cuddle up on the couch for anyone who rests there to just, come nestle. This is Pascal from Rapunzel, which is my favorite Disney princess, maybe. And he hangs out in my office sitting on top of my mini fridge. I have a tiny little fridge that holds 2 drinks in it, basically, and he just sits on top of that, guarding them, making sure no one steals my soda. If you're wondering why I have so many Disney plushies, I'm not really that big of a fan of Disney, but I went on a trip to Disney last year, so I bought so many plushies. I had to purchase an extra bag while I was there just to stuff all my plushies into it. So we have Crush, and we have Dory, and I think this is baby Dory, because she's got a cute little, Their home of residence is basically just kind of sitting around in the living room. They are more decorative than cuddleable. This is Mecha Blanc, I think. He came with another gnome that lives in Chris's car. Chris collects gnomes. I will have to do a gnome tour soon, because we also buy garden gnomes, and we hide them, not really hide them, but we just sort of put them around our house randomly, so it looks like our house is being invaded by gnomes. And so, for no reason, I bought him this and another one who is much taller, and they are little gnome plushies, and they came with their own names, and if I remember right, his name is Mecha Blanc. And whenever I gave them to him, I made him a treasure map. I drew this, treasure map where it's you must go down the Rocky Mountain and around, whatever, you have to fight the devious monster bears or whatever, and those were our dogs, which I had, locked up in, the kitchen or, barking at him. And he had to, go on this little journey following this little treasure map around our apartment. I woke him up with a treasure map and one of these guys. And then at the end, the one guy got reunited with his brother, and he rescued him from the dreaded Pomeranians. Mecha Blanc lives on top of our TV speaker, along with this cute little puffin friend that I got in Florida whenever I was stuck on this awful family trip that I did not want to be on. So I bought this cute little puffin so that I could carry it around and make him flap at people whenever I was upset and wanted to go home. Also living on our TV speaker are this and this. These are plushie representations of me. Chris calls me his fluff, and whenever my hair is doing this stuff, or whenever I put it up in a ponytail, he says it's a little sprout. So this is a fluff with a sprout, and this is a cute little bun because Adam calls me Bunny. So these are me. This is Baymax. He's huge and so huggable. I also got him at Disney. He lives in my office. He just stands in the corner, and whenever you're having a really bad day, you can just hug him, and he makes everything feel a lot better. It's so hot. This is Hedwig. She's technically a puppet because Harry Potter Wizarding World does not have, actual stuffed animals of Hedwig, which is, a marketing opportunity lost, in my opinion. There's no puppet way to flap her wings, though, so you can just... I feel a little bit like I'm defiling her when I do this, though, because, my hand is up her ass. So most of the time, I just cuddle her. She is immortal. She was briefly stunned in book 7 and fell through the sky, and then she recovered and kind of glided down to where some kids found her at a park, and they took her home and they were rehabilitating her and helping her be okay, and then she went back and rejoined her family. Okay, that's the facts. The remaining ones are my most important and most treasured fluff friends. This is Bumble Inna. The reason she is so huge is that she is actually a dragon bunny. and they are incredibly rare. Most dragon bunnies are white though, and because she was born so colorful, she was ostracized from her family and from her community, and she had to leave, and she wandered the world very sad and alone, and she wasn't sure if she would ever find anyone. And then we took her in and we adopted her and we loved her. She has a magic ability. She can transform from this into this. Bumble Inna was given to me by my wonderful boyfriend. Starting in around, my birthday is in May, and starting a few months before that, maybe in February, I started sending automated texts to Adam saying, warning, this is your notification that if you do not buy me a stuffed animal for my birthday, I will cry. And I had it automated to send like once a month until like we got close, and then it was like once a week, and then it was like every day of the week of my birthday. And this is what he came up with. In true Adam fashion, he is a grumpy, snarky human being. And whenever he gave it to me, he literally was just holding it, and he just set it down on my couch, and he was like, happy now? I told him to sleep with it so it would smell like him, and I honestly didn't think he would do it, but apparently he did. He said that he looked at it and was like, alright, bud, I don't like this any more than you do, but come here. Whenever I went to San Francisco, I was legitimately upset, and like talked about this on Twitter a lot, that I was like really stressed that I wouldn't be able to bring her with me, because I'd slept with her like every night since I got her. She was the representation of Adam for me. I thought like I will be okay in San Francisco as long as I can bring her with me, but she's too big and she wouldn't fit in any of my luggage, and I was like, I don't think I can claim her as a carry-on item because she's honestly too big to be a carry-on item. So before I left, we had this idea that the bun would be able to miniaturize itself, and then I could take this one with me. And me and Adam went to Build-A-Bear. We checked on the website, it said it was in stock, we went to Build-A-Bear, and I knew it was this big and then it was pre-made and that you couldn't get it stuffed, but he was totally like gearing up for the fact that I was gonna make him like do the whole song and dance and like hold the heart in your hands, and like he was prepared to like suffer. And I'm like, no, it's just a little guy. But they were out of stock, and I legit almost cried. But insert Chris egg story. Chris 3D printed me an egg, and I am not going to run upstairs and get it, because... So the idea was that she hid in this little egg so that she could transport herself with me to San Francisco. So I carried this egg around, and I set it next to my bed at night, and I would like pet its little egg head, knowing that she was there. So I was okay, and then partway through my trip, they sent me a little care package, and my boys sent me this. Bumble Inna is represented amongst my couch friends, which we are about to get into. Even though her true form is stashed in my office, her tiny form lives with me on the couch. Speaking of office friends, this is a mermaid, Pusheen. She has a cute little tail, and I think she's been featured in another video before. Pusheen. Which I imagine that Pusheen speak like Pokemon. Pusheen. But this is a mermaid. Pooh. She is part cat, part mermaid, obviously. Pusheen. Her name is Pusheen because she is a Pusheen. Pusheen. I had a friend, been friends on like Twitter and Facebook for a while, and we were working on projects together and stuff, and then she got very, very sick with a chronic illness that was like life-threatening. She told me like how depressed she was because like she couldn't see very well. Like it took her eyesight and it made it so she got very intense migraines whenever she used screen devices, because there'd be like light shining in her eyes, and so like she couldn't do any of the things that she used to love to do. And so I got her address and I sent her, I want to say, a piece of mail almost every single day for like almost a year maybe. I'm sure I missed a lot of days, but like I tried really hard to send her cards, drawings, letters, just little postcards, just like stuff, because I know how isolating it can be whenever you're sick and you can't talk to people, and people just, your relationships will just slowly kind of fade away. And I was like, not gonna happen. So after doing that for a long time, she bought me this for my birthday, and it arrived in the mail, and The story that I wrote for her project was about mermaids, and so she would be like, she'd send me, anytime she sent me anything, it would be mermaid themed. Like, she sent me a card that was like a cute mermaid, and she's like, if you want me to stop with the mermaids, just like let me know. But I love it. Pusheen hangs out in my office with me. Good little bean. Finally, we are on to official couch friends. I'm sure you've seen in some of my videos when I sit on my couch, I just have a row of plushies back there, and they annoy everyone. Both of my boys are very large, tall boys, and whenever they sit on the couch, all of the plushies rain down on them. Or they get stuck behind them, they have to like pull them out of their bag. So let's just start here. This is Schubert. He is the newest member of the family. He is a squid, if you can't tell. His name is Schubert because he came with a tag that actually said his name was Schubert. Chris gave me him for Christmas this year, and he is like a scientifically accurate squid. He has a beak. Beak. That's what squid have. That's how they like bite their prey. It's like two little teeth. I don't know what they're actually made out of, but they look like little teeth and look like a little tiny beak. And whenever they snag their prey, they're like, and they like scoop it into their face. They munch it with their little beak. He also has I don't know what this is called. He also has the like water jet that propels him through the water, so he can like shoot out bubbles and like zoom away. The part that weirds me out is he has gills that you can like stick your fingers in. Why? They could have just been like a line. Like, you didn't have to actually make them like holes. That's just, sometimes I'll reach for him and my hand goes in there and I'm like, am I going to rip his head off? So yes, this is Schubert. He is a lovely squid. I love him a lot. Chris likes to, while we're sitting on the couch, just pick up a tentacle and start like petting my face. Hey boy! This is Pounce, which is what I named my Eevee in Pokemon Let's Go. When they announced that game, I was like, I'm gonna get a stuffed Eevee, and I'm gonna sit there, and we're gonna play Pokemon together, and it's gonna be the greatest thing ever. And then whenever it was released, I saw a lot of Pikachu plushies, but I didn't see any Eevee plushies. Like, that's such a lost marketing opportunity. But Chris found him. Chris found my cute little Eevee friend. Now we get to actually like play Pokemon Let's Go together. This is Mermy. It's short for mermaid. I also call her Merm. Him, Merm. I don't know what his gender is. We just use whatever pronouns we're feeling like. Merm. He's a manatee. I went to Florida, and that's when I got the puffin. But we were in an airport gift shop looking for snacks. I saw these little Florida manatees, and they had little like tourist shirts on them that said like someone in Florida loves you and crap. And I stripped off one of the shirts and left it there because I didn't want the dumb shirt. And I bought my little Merm. I love Mermy. He's so small and so cute, and he's so nice. And he makes a nice pillow because he's like roundy, and so like if you're watching a show and you just want to like, I love my Merm. This is Kobe. His name is short for Cobalt because he is blue. He was an impulse purchase in Target from the baby section because he's like really soft and squishy and fun to snuggle. Chris hates him because he lives on this side of the couch where Chris sits, and he's constantly like hitting Chris in the head. So Chris has banished him to the other couch. I'm sorry, Kobe. But at least the little dinosaur family will be your friends. This is a little bear. He is adorable, but he's not super showing up on camera. I bought him for Adam, but I know that Adam doesn't care about stuffed animals, so I bought him, like, because he reminded me of Adam, but then kept him for me. We call him Adam Bear. He is, like, a wildlife prevention something. He was part of a display of, like, real wildlife endangered animals. I think he's supposed to be a black bear, and purchasing them went to like funding conservation efforts or something. And I was walking around this grocery store in San Francisco, and I was like gearing up to leave and was doing like souvenir shopping, and I saw him and I needed him. He looked so sad. He looked so grumpy. He looked just as grumpy as my Adam. And I'm always saying that Adam is a giant bear. If Adam was an animal, he would just be a giant grizzly bear that would maul people's faces off. And so he is a cute little tiny bear, and I love him so much. And he just sits back here. He just sits there, looking cute, watching TV with us. The last two are the most important stuffed animals that I own. We have Coco, and we have Bailey the Whaley. Coco is the very first Christmas present that I ever got from Chris, which was 12 years ago, 13. Anyways, he is really old. And I named him Coco, and for a long time I could not sleep unless I was sleeping with Coco, because this is my Chris away from Chris. I love him so much. He has gone everywhere with me that I have gone in the last decade. Whenever I go on road trips, he sits in the seat next to me, and I buckle him in, and I usually give him snacks. Whenever I go on airplanes, he's the one that I'm hugging because I'm trying to convince myself the airplane is not going to crash and we're not going to die. Chris says that he knows whenever I'm sad because I'll just start carrying Coco around the house with me because I just want to be loved. Coco is very important and very special. Bailey was purchased in May of 2018 whenever I went to Disney, and I kind of haven't stopped cuddling him since. This is actually the beluga from Finding Dory, but it just looks like a beluga to me. He is the perfect shape for, like, he's like a little, this crescent shape, and so, like, he's the perfect shape for, like, spooning. He's the perfect shape for, like, tucking under you. He's the perfect shape for, like, being a pillow sometimes. Every time I'm on this couch, I have him in my arms. He's so nice, and I feel so wonderful with him. And I love my little whale. Whenever I'm on the computer, I will, like, if I have to, like, be on the computer, I'll, like, tuck him into my side, and so I can just, like, rest my head on him. He's a white whale, but I'm worried that he's, like, turning gray because I cuddle him literally all of the time. And Bailey's gender is whatever. Some days he's a he, some days she, some days they. It's literally just whatever we... So that is all for my couch friends and miscellaneous stuffed animals. We'll have to do a second part of this where I show you all of the stuffed animals behind me in my office, but I think you've already seen most of them. You just don't know the stories behind them. I hope this was entertaining and not just, like, extremely embarrassing. Bailey says goodbye.